No holds barred.
Really could go anyway. Flip over your tape decks. It's the B-sides.
It's the B-sides.
Hello. I am Scott Hughes,
And I'm Jack Bingham.
and we are your mates.
This is the B-sides.
We're on the B-sides today. No manager. He is absent. We're left to our own devices.
Like sheeps in a paddock. Sheep in a paddock.
With the gate unlocked.
And no shepherd.
Exactly.
That's what we always say anyway.
That's something we've always believed.
So it's nice and quick. And like we said, it's loose. No one's really keeping us in check at all.
No.
And so we'll just do a bit of a topic and a bit of a chat.
Beautiful.
I've got one for you.
Please.
It's a game.
Ooh.
And I love, we've spoken about it many times in the past, but I love the idea of a game that you can just incorporate into life. Anyone can incorporate it into life.
That's
so
good.
similar to like I Spy.
I Spy, 20 questions.
Yeah, you can just do it anywhere, but it involves the environment.
Yeah,
So,
I like it.
So anyone listening, you can 100%, and I recommend that you get involved. It came about just this last weekend that's just passed.
Oh.
And
What, are you the inventor?
yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, I mean, it's not, yeah, you'll see what I mean, but
Okay.
it happened naturally.
Okay.
And then I've realised that this is something that we could actually, incorporate into
Make as
real
a
life.
game.
Yeah.
I
And
love that.
I think it's actually,
That's great.
you know,
Amazing.
it's a fun one. So the reason it came about is because Rennie, my wife, and I were at the shops. We were just purchasing we were getting some drinks because we were going to your place for dinner. And so we're just big soda water drinkers. So we just drink soda.
Yeah.
And the best thing about that, it's like mineral water or whatever, is that your bottle is like 70 cents. But
Especially when it's not chilled.
oh yeah, no, just the straight off the rack.
Yeah.
So like it's so
Yeah,
cheap, and it's we live off the stuff. So
and that's like
good.
a 1.5 litre.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Decent.
So that's good. So that's what our aim was. But I just joked around while we were there because I was just, I don't know, because I'm a joker. while we're at the shopping centre,
Yeah.
and I just was like, oh, let's just grab the I can't even remember what the brand's called, but it's just like Capri. I was like, let's just get the Capri this time, which is like maybe $2 a bottle.
Special edition.
$2 or $3 a bottle. It's a glass bottle. It's exactly the same stuff in there.
Yeah.
But I just joked about it, and I thought, like, I don't know. I don't know.
San Pellegrino kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And as I was joking about it, this guy's walked past us in the aisle, like at the exact same time.
Yeah.
And I thought, that guy probably thought I wasn't joking. He probably thought we can afford $3 mineral water.
Yeah.
But no, we're still getting the scabby 70 cents.
Why wouldn't you?
But I just made a little joke. So I guess that's essentially where the game came from.
Yeah,
but what
I
it
like
is that if you see someone that you don't know kind of approaching into your space, you merge your spaces and you give them basically like a altered perception on reality.
Right.
So I don't know, like all I know is what I've done, but you could kind of do it anywhere. But what I'm saying is that someone might be walking past you and they're going to hear a little bit of your world, but the world that you choose to share with them is not true.
That's going to be
So,
different.
so you might be just like, as a random example at the shops,
I like it.
again, it's just good because there's people around.
Yeah.
You see someone walking past, an aisle is good because they're in like a restricted zone and they're going to walk past you.
I like it.
So you might say something like, did you park the Lamborghini around the back?
Yeah.
Or something like random like that,
Yeah.
And this person in their life has walked past someone and heard something so strange, and they probably walk on and they think, oh, yeah, those people with a Lamborghini. That's cool. I don't know.
I mean, he's got holes in his jeans, but he's got a Lamborghini.
And that's, good on him. He probably, and depending on how good you are with the game, he might be like, well, I wonder what he does. I wonder if he's an investor or something. But little does he know, he just fell for the game. And I don't know what to call it yet. But
I like it.
just the fact that everyone lives their own kind of life and you get a chance to influence someone else's just for one little second.
Imagine if like this became like a Newcastle-wide thing, and then like tourists in Newcastle, like if you're from Sydney or Melbourne or wherever, or anywhere in the world that isn't from Newcastle, you come here, then like they just think we're actually all rich.
Well, I don't like. What's another way to do it? Because that's just what came to head. Because that's what I obviously.
Well, I think the good thing about that is like, because like money is probably quite a prevalent thing in today's society, for better or for worse. Like that, like will prick someone's ears up. You know what I mean? Like
that's true.
If they hear Lambo, they instantly go, "What's that?" If you say something about anything else, like it's not interesting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you said to someone, "Oh, I'm just going to park the Swift around the back."
Yeah. As in
no, the Suzuki Swift. No disrespect to Suzuki, but I don't think that's going to get the same internal response.
Yeah. So the point is obviously to alter, but also I guess to like somewhat improve your lifestyle in some way, you know.
Well, yeah. Well, just whether it doesn't, I don't even reckon it has to be improving, but like make it like you. I reckon you almost want like a reaction out of them. I feel like that's how you tell if you've been successful. Yeah. Maybe you run it like a tally. Yeah. And if they do like a double take, I reckon a double take's like 5 points. But I reckon if you get any kind of look across to you to make eye contact just as a suss out, that's a point.
I like it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's therefore you have to be creative.
What about...
It's like, you could be like, so I don't know. So we're like, I mean, it's bad, but that's kind of alarming. But like if you walk past someone and say, "Yeah, we're going to rob this one." Or the next one, like,
yeah, see, that's good. That one's good. I mean, probably, like you said, scary. But I like the idea of
maybe that's
like
too threatening.
Well, I'd like to see some more range outside of the money realm. I just thought about just then, especially like again because I was out with my wife Ree. If I just went in for a hug as someone was coming up, then I was like, "Oh, sorry, I thought you were your twin."
Yeah,
that'd be a good one.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, "Oh, that's such a weird thing."
That's a weird situation.
Yeah.
That they just. Like maybe a double take.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That's really cool.
So that's a game.
I like it. I think it's good. I think it's not. It's good with like a bit of a score system too. You know.
Yeah, definitely.
It's because really they might in their heads be thinking it, but there might not be heaps of satisfaction because you don't know if they've actually heard you or not.
That's true.
If you can see them react, trying for the score, then I feel like that's satisfying.
Yeah, that is good.
You see them look back.
That is good. And you know, like, it's completely harmless, but in some ways, you've kind of, like, changed their world a little bit in something that's they've been misinformed.
Yeah, and I hope it's harmless. Like, we don't condone lying or anything like that.
No.
But
the Rob one probably isn't good. Don't be like, should we get this guy?
Don't walk into an airport and say anything.
No, don't play this game in airports. Full stop. Pretty well.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's
inspire,
one of the rules.
like,
that's one of the top 10 rules.
It did inspire the idea of like, did we get the first class or just go private jet like usual, or something like that. Again, we're talking wealthy comments.
What about like, you're just sitting somewhere in a lounge room, could be an airplane lounge, could be just in a shopping mall. And you're just like, I'm just looking around for someone to give the 5,000 to. I'm just trying to look for a random contender. Not sure who yet. Maybe even if you started describing someone that you've seen sitting next to you.
Pretty
like,
good.
I'd love like medium class, like elderly, 40. Well, I mean, I'm sorry, like age is what I really meant, like 40s. Even if they were wearing like a striped shirt, I'd actually next striped person, next striped shirt, I say $5,000 straight to them, and then just walk off the other direction.
I like it.
Cool.
So that, I mean, it's at least the basis. That's what I'll say. Like we've at least got the kind of the groundwork down. You can have a crack from there. And if you've got any like improvements or suggestions,
yes, please
let us know. You can get us on our Instagram, which is Jack and Scott.
Yeah.
There's work to be done. Yeah. And there's loopholes there. So, tighten it up for us. And I'm going to try and like give it another bit of a crack sometime.
Yeah, I like it.
You just got to be thinking about it when you see someone coming. You got to be prepared.
Yeah.
And just be willing to just like blow their mind.
Yeah, I like it.
Pretty good.
I like it. I'm going to try that as well. Very cool. Well, just before we wrap up for today's B-sides are traditionally a bit shorter. By the way, if you haven't heard any before, usually we go for a bit longer than this, but we will be wrapping up shortly. But we did want to talk about one thing. What was that, JB?
Well, we spoke about it. I think it was on another B-side a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, could have been.
I actually brought up the idea that the manufacturers of like phones in particular, technology these days, they put in so much effort into these things, and we cover them with cases.
Yeah.
And so I suggested that we do, everyone that's listening, pick a day a week or just whenever and just take the case off for the day.
Yeah.
And you and I today.
Yeah, and like the idea, I was going to say just before, the idea of that was really just to appreciate how the manufacturer intended it to be used, appreciated, felt, kind of looked at, just all of that.
And also in a way, it's a little bit of a risk, which is a bit of fun. Yeah. You know, like you feel like the thing that you normally hold, you just have that little tiny bit of extra risk involved, which is, you're kind of like, oh yeah, might drop it.
I know.
Hopefully don't, just for one day. One day.
I kind of do that with my wedding ring sometimes. Like, just like high risk situations, just take it off and hold it in a different hand just to feel a little bit of adrenaline.
Just the adrenaline rush. You guys have learned, if nothing else from today's podcast, that we are crazy. We are crazy, crazy people. We just...
Next level.
Far out.
Anyway, quick recap on how the week, because I actually have had mine off for a few days.
Okay. Well, I had mine off all day yesterday and today as well. Yeah. So nice. Still off currently.
And I'm going to say it's really nice.
Yeah.
I have an Apple iPhone. Oh, sorry. I don't know if we're endorsing that.
I mean, it doesn't matter.
that's what I had. And it was just, it's nice.
You told me yesterday, surprisingly skinny.
Surprisingly skinny, yeah. So, I mean, we've commented about this like in our past, but really, once the case comes off, what's this one? This is a 6, I think, iPhone 6.
Yeah.
And it is flat. Like, it is pretty skinny. I feel like initially they had some comments about them bending. I haven't had such an issue, but...
I think they fixed it, but...
It's thin.
Yeah.
It is thin. I honestly don't know how it all fits in here. One thing I'm not sure if it's just my phone's getting old and the battery's starting to go, but it gets pretty hot. It gets a little bit warm.
While it's running?
Yeah, so if I got the screen brightness up, I'm getting something off the internet, like streaming or something, streaming a video or whatever.
It heats up a bit.
It gets a bit of temperature in it. Like, it's not going to burn me, but
the things you learn,
notice it.
Things you learn.
Yeah.
And so mine's a bit newer. I kind of did the 6. Actually, I think mine was a 6 too, and I've kind of like done the hard yards that you're currently still doing. Yeah. So I've got the new one. Yeah. And I would say that. I mean, the feel of it without the case is so good because it does take like a third of the width out of it or the thickness out of it. But it's fairly slippery, glass back.
Yeah.
If you sit on your leg slippery or something or like anywhere that isn't dead flat, it'll find a way to slide off. So.
Yeah. Well, mine's got like the metal back, and I feel like the back is slipperier than the glass front because there's a little bit of. Like you get that little bit of stick with your fingers at least, but on the back there's none of that. It just like slides. It's very slippery. So
advantages to cases, but at the same time, that's why we're definitely not saying don't use cases ever. No,
because if you break a phone and blame it on us as your mates, we don't want that.
No. Plus, you don't do that to your mates.
Don't do that to us, your mates.
But, keep it on 90% of the time. But every now and then, that's all we say is just once a month, once a week, whatever you want. Just take it off and just remember that it's been made to be used like that as well. So we liked it. We learned a lot. We recommend you do it.
Yep.
And so you've heard the feedback. It's all good. We didn't break anything.
If you're an Apple designer, if you're one of our mates that's an Apple designer in the HQ, can you let us know? I'm interested to know. Do they know that people are going to put cases on them straight away? Do they just go, oh, they're just going to be cased. We'll still do a good job, but it doesn't really matter? Or would they appreciate us not having a case? Or would they say, you're a couple of fools? They're not
I reckon that they'd appreciate it. Yeah, I think that they know that people are going to use it. Yeah. But I think they'd appreciate the people that don't.
Yeah. Okay. Nice.
That's how they made it.
And I feel like they're actually trying to make make phones a bit more durable.
Oh, they're way better than they used to be.
Yeah, so if that's the case, one's got to imagine that they're trying to make it so they don't even need a case.
I would believe so. I reckon that every time they bring it out, they think this might be the one that beats the case.
Because you said yours is waterproof, didn't you?
Yes.
And that's a great start.
More or less waterproof. Yeah. Like you could run under a tap, I believe.
Yeah, okay.
So.
But don't swim with it in the ocean for like 15 hours straight.
Wouldn't try it. That did happen to one of my last ones, and it wasn't good. So
Okay.
don't do that.
Hence, Jack's got the new
Let's get a new one. But yeah, get in touch, especially if you are that designer. Let us know, or anyone else with the game.
Yep.
You know, like tighten it up.
You
whatever.
can find us at Jack and Scott on our Instagram. That's our Instagram.
Yeah.
You can find us on Instagram at Jack and Scott.
Chuck us a message, and we're open to anything. Chuck us a message on any things we talked about, or just say hey, whatever. We love it. We see them coming through. Appreciate it.
Thanks very much.
Been great.
B-sides.